Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. I'm on a mission to get it all. Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. If you ain't thick, please don't get involved.
And now, Brandon Thick Boy Schaub.
What's up, Thickies? It is Monday, February 21st. My son's birthday, baby. Big boy turned 6. Big T, Big Tigger, Big Tiger. Turned 6 years old. Man, you just wish you could freeze him in time. You wish you could freaking freeze him. Yeah, you wish you could freeze him. He's just, he's growing up, man. He is growing up. Yeah, he wanted a Ferrari themed cake. When he asked that, I was like, this kid's out of his mind. Oh, tight. Oh, damn, where did we get these ice cubes?
Mike.
Mike made this?
No, he has a tray.
Oh, shit. That's fancy. All right. Wow. Jeez. Things are really looking up at Thick Boy. All right, Big Mike. Damn. That's fantastic. Just want a little drink here. But yeah, man, birthday with the kiddos. God, is their life different than mine? On my birthday, my dad, I think got me a cupcake and I got to watch TV, what I wanted to watch that night, or go to a movie or some shit. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Yesterday, I asked him, I said, what do you want? And he was like, Dad, I just want a Slurpee. Because I tried to monitor his sugar, right? Because I was like sugar king when I was a kid, and I think it's caused some issues for me down the road. But I'm not like the weird parent that doesn't want the kid to try. Like, you don't want the kid who's never had a Twizzler, and then he gets to middle school and then gets a Twizzler and he's fucking, next thing you know, he's doing heroin. I've seen it happen a million times. It's a dangerous road to go down. Next thing he's idolizing Euphoria. You don't want that, man. I grew up on Saved by the Bell and freaking Dunkaroos. You feel me? So for him, I don't want to be the weird kid who's never has candy, because he has candy, but I do try to limit it somewhat. And he had a Slurpee, I don't know, 6 months ago. And then now that's his like special treat, or Slurpees. When's the last time he had a Slurpee,
I know
dude?
if I ever had an...
He only likes the original Coca-Cola Slurpee.
Oh, that one?
He likes nothing else. Just the original Coca-Cola Slurpee. And then my youngest son, Boston, he doesn't like sweets at all. Like, I get him a Slurpee. He's like, get this poison out of my face. I'm like, all right. Yeah. My bad, Mr. Irwan. All right. My bad, Doug. But yeah, B-days, man. B-days for the kiddos. You got to make them special, dude. So it was a good weekend, man. Good weekend with the family. Then Chris D'Elia, my brother from another mother that looks like a bird. Chris D'Elia was in Brea. He was in Brea, California, doing shows. That's just artwork. That's me and Chris there. And I finally got his Don't Push Me merch on. Yeah, I got the Don't Push Me merch on. It's some of my favorite merch of all time. The hats are my absolute favorite. Yeah, dude, it's, there's Chris there, man. I can't say enough great things about the dude. You want to talk about someone who's completely reinvented themselves and, obviously went through some rough times and put in the work and, goes to therapy more than anybody I know in my life. And he's a great dad, and it's changed his perspective on life and comedy. And now he's talking about real substance on stage. And, that's how it should work, man. That's called growing up. I find it interesting. He's also a guy where, me and Chris do shows together all the time, man. And to me, it's, I don't know if people realize the amount of support that Chris has. So, for instance, in Brea, it might be the biggest improv. It's up there. And they even, now that, COVID's definitely kind of going to the side and we're moving on with our lives, thank freaking God. But Brea opened up even more capacity. So I think it seats almost 590 now. He sold out 6 shows at 590, and they wanted to add 2 more shows. So Chris is a guy, in any market can, he's in a, big theater act still, man. Oxnard, same thing. They wanted to add 3 to 4 more shows, and you're just like, dude, it's too much work. I get home to my kids, stuff like that, which I love. But you're talking, what is that? 590 times 6? How many tickets is that? You know what I'm saying? Basically, so let's say, to make math easy, it's 6. So that's, what's that, 3,600 tickets? So
3,540.
Yeah, that's at 590. 3,500 tickets sold. I mean, sold out like this. They want to add more shows, so talking 5,000-6,000 tickets any market at least. A monster, dude, and crushing it. It's just a cool thing to see, cool thing to be part of. If you guys watch the other million shows I do, King the Sting, we announced that starting in March, I think second or third week of March, it's going to change to the King, the Sting, and the Wing. Clearly, Chris is the Wing. So it's going to be Theo Vaughn, Chris D'Elia, and myself. And 2 episodes a month will be on Patreon only, King, the Sting, and the Wing. It's under Cats Plus. And then the other 2 are going to stay the same. So every other week will be Patreon. But it will still stay for free on YouTube with, Chris, Theo, myself, Eric Griffin will be on the free ones. But then if you want just Theo, Chris, and I will be on Patreon. So, yeah, man, pretty dope. King, the Sting, and the Wing. So excited about that. Can't wait, man. We did a photo shoot for it. You guys see all that stuff. But the boys are back in town. Yeah, it was a great night, man. Just an overall good weekend. Just good feelings, good vibes, Let's get into the fight life, man. In the fight life, you had a fight night. I had to rewatch it on Sunday because I was working on Saturday with Chris at Brea. It was I would say this fight night was a better card than what's coming up this Saturday from top to bottom. But, this Saturday's card suffered a little bit with our boy Dariush getting hurt against Islam Makhachev, who's an absolute savage. But hats off to Bobby Green, man. I mean, listen, if you had to give an MVP for the fight bubble that they were doing out there in Abu Dhabi or the hell it was, Bobby Green was your guy. He basically went undefeated during the fight bubble, fought every other freaking weekend it seemed, and he's just a gamer, man. And you root for a guy like Bobby Green. And he said something interesting too. Obviously, what's so hot right now is fighter pay, right? It rears its head every 2 years with fighter pay. And Bobby Green goes all like, I think they asked him about it. He's like, "You'll never hear me disrespect the UFC, man." I guess apparently his brother passed away, and the UFC covered all the funeral costs. So
very cool.
Yeah, I don't know the story with his brother passed or something like that. We should probably get Bobby Green on Food Truck and Flashback Fight Nights. Yeah, DM from my account. I love Bobby Green. His story is pretty inspiring. I'm not saying anything that the listeners, especially my fans, don't know, but clearly a very tough fight against Islam Makhachev. But there's something I like about it, having this curveball. I know Bobby Green's a big underdog, but to me, there's something to be said of Islam getting ready for a Beneil Dariush, who's very technical. Obviously, if Dariush gets hit, he has that similar to what Cody Garbrandt or even Gaethje has. They have like that warrior spirit where they'll just, bear down and start slanging him and trying to get the guy out there, which I love, I respect. It's tough to fight at a super high level like that, but obviously Dariush is at a super high level, so is Gaethje. But the interesting thing I think with this matchup, what makes me a little more excited, I do think Makhachev was going to beat Dariush. I do. And I love Dariush. I hate to say it. But with Makhachev, Bobby Green, talking about a completely different animal, a different type of breed. You're talking about a dude who's kind of, hard to train for. It's going to be hard to train for. And I think if you're going to beat a guy like Makhachev or those Dagestanians who are so dominant in their wrestling and they're methodical in their, approach to fighting, the way you beat that is just a curveball. Bobby Green's a curveball, man. It's not a terrible idea to go to DraftKings right now, use promo code Schaub, and put some money on Bobby Green. It's not a terrible bet. Now, can you get it? It's a needle in a haystack. Not a bad needle to try to bet on, though. He's a plus 500, a minus 720.
Damn.
I mean, makes sense. But I just think sometimes in this fight world, man, if a guy's going to get it done, it's a guy like Bobby Green. Now, would I bet, my life savings on Bobby Green beating him? No, I'm just saying at a plus 500, put $100 on him, win $600. You know what I'm saying? So, put $1,000 on him, make it a nice little payout. And it's a, fun fight to bet on. I'm not saying it wouldn't shake the earth if Bobby Green beat Makhachev. Again, very tough task, but as far as like curveball and stuff like that, and Makhachev, the only knock on him right now is, they say if he can just get used to the pressure of being a main event and dealing with the notoriety and the exposure that he's getting, he hasn't shown his full capabilities yet in the main event. You talk to, obviously, Josh Thompson is a really good friend of mine, and he's around Islam. He's like, I'm telling you, dude, this kid is a savage. And he's like, as good as he is, and obviously he's undefeated, but as good as he is in the UFC, you haven't seen his real potential. So the more comfortable he gets, the better he gets. So that's scary if you're fighting him. But again, there's something, Bobby Green is that curveball, man. You can't really predict the guy, and he's very explosive. So we'll see what happens with that, man. But there's a reason why Islam's such a big favorite. But I'm just saying, if you're a betting man like me and you like to take chances, taking a chance on Bobby Green's not a terrible idea. If you have extra cash to play around with. Again, if it means your car payment or keeping the lights on, don't make that. If you have just some extra cash to fuck around with, it's not terrible. Not a terrible bet, because he is the X factor. It's hard to plan for. Short notice, huge underdog, main event. He's an experienced fighter, very explosive, hard to train for. So we'll see. I would assume Makhachev try to get him down early on to take away and nullify that kind of X factor that is Bobby Green. I would assume he gets him down early on, tries to break him. And if he gets him down early on, wears him out, you can nullify that kind of X factor. And Makhachev's an absolute monster when it comes to that. So, you hear the same. This is what's scary about our boy Khamzat is everybody says, dude, what you see in the octagon is like a tip of the iceberg. Like, he's so talented, you haven't seen any of it. And I saw a clip with Khamzat, he's training obviously with Gustafsson, that's camp. Darren Till's there. Mm-hmm. And he's sparring with Darren Till, calling him fat boy. He's like, come on, fat boy. He's just such a savage, dude. So scary. I saw some outlets ran with the headline, Schaub thinks Usman can't beat Khamzat. Now, I didn't say that. I'm just saying it's a different type of animal. Like, you're dealing with, we don't know how good he is. And, obviously Kamaru's, his knees are bad, stuff like that. I'm just saying it's a different problem for Kamaru to solve. And it's just a matter of time. Because once Khamzat beats Gilbert Burns, or, if he does beat Gilbert Burns, if he just demolishes him, it's just like, it's off to the races. And all I'm saying, it's a different set of problems that Kamaru hasn't had to face his entire reign of pound-for-pound best in the world. That's all I'm saying. Can Kamaru beat him yet? Dude, Kamaru's pound-for-pound best fighter on the goddamn planet, dude. I'm just saying I'm interested to see if Khamzat is the guy. And there's nothing better than being on that journey of him being the guy. Makhachev might be the guy at 55. Khamzat might be the guy at 170, And I love that stuff. Kamaru's set. Give him a golden jacket now. One of the best to ever do it. Great guy inside, outside the octagon. He's set. So we know where he's at. What gets me excited and what gets me riled up is this mysterious kind of aura around Khamzat. Chin loves him.
I'm loving him now, yeah.
Right?
Took a little while, but now.
Once he destroyed your boy Jang Lang, you were like, all right, he's pretty good.
The way he did it, yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I know, I can't get enough of him. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is. Makhachev too. Makhachev's another scary dude. Scary dude. Let's take a little break from the drama in the fight world, because this episode of the Schaub Show is brought to you by BetterHelp. Listen, man, we all know we struggle sometimes, and something's interfering with your happiness. It's preventing you from achieving your goals, something you've always wanted to do. Don't be your own worst enemy, man. Get out of your own way. That's where BetterHelp can assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. I'm telling you, it helps, man. You can start communicating under 48 hours, all right? It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional therapy done securely online. We got you covered. It's worldwide, man. You can log on to your account anytime, send a message to your therapist, all right? You get a response back. You can schedule weekly video or phone sessions, which I recommend. You don't want, it's a one-time thing and you're cured. Nah, man, it's training. If you go to the gym, right? You wouldn't go to the gym once, like, oh, I'm strong enough. Nah, man, with therapy, it's training like you'd be in the gym. and you need it. And it's just, it's your brain's a muscle, man. You got to work on it. You can't expect results overnight after one time. So commit to it, man. I guarantee it changes your life. All right. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today, and visit betterhelp.com/Schaub. That's BetterHelp, HELP. Join the over 2 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp, they are recruiting additional therapists in all 50 states. So I got a special offer for the Schaub Show listeners and viewers. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Schaub. Everyone's busy out there, man. You got back-to-back meetings. You got errands to run. You got chores. Pick the kids up from school. You got a list to do, man. You're like, God, how am I going to get dinner ready? I forgot something at the grocery store. What am I going to do? I got you, because my friends at DoorDash got you covered, man. Whatever you want, we got you, man. Get what you want to eat right now, right to your door with DoorDash. Along with the restaurants you love, you can now get groceries, other essential items delivered with DoorDash. Get drinks, snackies, other household items in under a freaking hour. Late night ice cream, we got you, man. You forgot maybe an ingredient for that freaking meatloaf platter. We got you. All right, with DoorDash, get everything in one app. With over 3,000 partners, you can support your neighborhood go-tos or choose from your favorite national restaurants like Popeyes, Chipotle, Cheesecake Factory. Ordering is easy, and your items will be left safely outside your door when you choose contactless delivery drop-off. All right, for a limited time, the listeners and viewers of the Schaub Show get 25% off and zero delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter the code Schaub Show. That's SCHAUB Show. That's 25% off up to $10 value and zero delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store. Enter the code Schaub Show. Don't forget, that's code Schaub Show for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Subject to change. Terms apply. But yeah, when I saw Bobby Green, everyone's like, "Oh, with the Dariush, I agree. I want to see him against Dariush, who's whatever, I think third in the rankings." But that's interesting. Just because Bobby Green's that X factor, he's not going to be scared of Makhachev. He's very explosive. He's dynamic. It's a late replacement. So if you're Islam and you're hoping to fight Dariush and get the title shot, you got to wonder what the UFC is going to do. If he was to get by Bobby Green. So for Islam, is it a case of like, all right, you're fighting Bobby Green short notice. What's Bobby ranked? I don't, Mm-hmm. So for Islam, if there's even a sense of kind of a letdown, he's not up for this fight, Bobby Green's a problem, dude. He's given a ton of guys problems. He's been fighting forever, dude. So I don't even think.
Not even in the top 15.
He's not even top 15. So Dariush was 3. So for Islam, it's a bit of a come down, right? Just mentally, like, what? I thought I was going to fight number 3. Then I have a direct path to a title shot. So I assume you get by Bobby Green and they got to figure out what to do with him, We'll see. But going back to this past weekend's fights, speaking of a come up, Jamahal Hill, Johnny Walker, Jamahal Hill, right, only has one loss in the UFC. Definitely something about the dude, man. His timing, especially when it came to Johnny Walker, he has that one loss to Paul Craig. But outside that, he's a undefeated fighter, man. So, he's coming off 2 performances of the night, 2 knockouts, the Jimmy Crute knockout, 48 seconds, and then the Johnny Walker, his first main event in the UFC. And, he starches the dude. And as much as I'll get into Jamahal Hill and how great he is, and I do think he's a top 5 type of talent, I walked away from that after watching, just feeling sorry for Johnny Walker. Because if you remember, and you can go back and listen to I think at the time it was Below the Belt, or maybe Big Brown Breakdown, whichever, probably Below the Belt. We're talking 3 years ago, probably at least. When Johnny Walker came onto the scene, he's this absolute freak. We've never seen a guy move like that. I think he was the guy who was a former stripper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a former stripper. He moves his hips in a way where you think there's a bit of sugar in his tank. Like there's, I don't know guys that move their hips that don't have sugar in their tank. So, but he's just this freak, dude. And he's 6'6". If you remember when he came on the scene, he's doing all this wild shit and throwing knees and knocking dudes out cold. And if you remember, even 2-3 fights in, we're like, this guy might be a problem for Johnny Bones Jones.
Yep, I remember.
Same size, unorthodox, talented, super freak athlete, though he had like this X factor, we're so drawn to him. Then he wins a fight, does the worm, blows his shoulder out, which is one of the most tragic stories in UFC history. Blows his shoulder out, kind of goes away, rehabs the shoulder, posts videos, online of him rehabbing and throwing punches. And even then you're like, it doesn't look fantastic. And for whatever reason, during all that, he kind of lost his special sauce. He kind of lost what made him Johnny Walker. So when he loses a few fights, understandable. And then he goes to, John Kavanaugh's camp. And obviously John's one of the most brilliant minds to ever do it. And obviously he's the mastermind behind Conor McGregor, the biggest fighter to ever grace the octagon. But part of me is like, I don't think that's what Johnny Walker needed, because now you're trying to make a guy whose secret sauce was being wild and unorthodox, and you're trying to make him a technical fighter. There's not enough days in the fucking year for him to download that data and be this technical fighter. So when he's in there, he's not really being himself, is he? He's more of, I think he's confused. I think usually I love to throw flying knees here, but I've done that in the past and I've lost. Or, John had me working on my jab. I work footwork jab. So it's like this, you're dealing with this guy who really doesn't know, he's struggling with his identity. He really doesn't know what he's doing, right? So I think it makes him tentative. I think it takes away his secret sauce. And, Johnny Walker's kind of a shell of what he used to be, man. And it's such a fucking shame to watch. It really bothered me. Obviously Jamahal Hill, God bless him, man. That knockout and the timing of the knockout was fantastic. But it wasn't like that was a clear shot, behind the ear or something like that. You top the head to get knocked on the top of your head. So then you got to worry about Johnny Walker. They call it his chin, which it's more of a brain issue, right? So I think getting knocked out like that, and it wasn't like a wobble. You're talking stiff.
Yeah.
Stiff.
Scary.
So scary knockout. I guess the thing that bothered me and kept me up at night is like, what's Johnny Walker do now? What's he going to do? He's not a cerebral fundamental fighter where he's going to teach MMA. He's not going to open up a school. He has this set of skills, this capoeira skill set and jumping around. It's like, we can't bottle that up and sell it. There's not a business plan there. He's lost 4 out of his last 5. So you got to, how long is the UFC going to keep riding with this guy? But like I said, before that, he was on Dana White Contender Series in 2018. That got him a ticket to the Chocolate Factory. Then they put him in the real UFC. And he fights Khalil Roundtree, who I love. Shout out to Khalil. He hits KO elbow. Remember that nasty elbow? He hits KO of the night. That's in 2018. So that's 4 years ago. Then they give him that Justin Leddit. He knocks his ass out in 15 seconds. So the hype is real. Then they give him a real contender in Misha. And he knocks him out with a flying knee, dude. Again, 36 seconds. So really, Khalil Roundtree got him on the map. You're like, holy shit, that elbow was nasty. Then you let it, and you get a fucking spinning back fist in 15 seconds. You're like, holy shit. And that's where we're like, dude, with his size and shit, he might be a problem for John. Then they're like, all right, well, in the UFC, hold on, let's see if this kid's the real deal. They give him Misha, who's a fucking perennial kind of powerhouse, man. He's a tough character. He gets dealt with in 36 seconds. Performance tonight. Now it's like, here we go. Then they give him Corey Anderson. And Corey went, cool story, dude, and beat the shit out of him. And Corey felt disrespected, and that was a big win for Corey. And then Corey went on to do his thing in Bellator and shit like that. But they set Johnny up to be the next guy, the next challenger for Jones. Because if he gets past Corey Anderson, remember, that's the big UFC 244. If you remember, that was November 2019. That was Madison Square Garden, New York. They only bring out the big guns for that. So that was their in hopes. And obviously they're having issues with Corey Anderson. They were trying to get him out of there, right? And they weren't going to re-sign him. Corey's talking about moving on. They were hoping that Johnny would get him out there with a flying knee. Didn't happen. Corey beat the shit out of him. So you're like, all right, just bad matchup. He'll learn. And they give him Krylov, and he loses that fight. You're like, all right, this isn't ideal. And I forget which one he blew his fucking shoulder out in.
Yeah.
but it was after a big win. He just wasn't the same. Then they give him Ryan Spann, and he kind of comes back. KO, first round. You're like, hell yeah, he's back. Then they give him Thiago Santos, lost in decision. Thiago's a monster. And then they give him the young, hungry line in Jamahal Hill, and he gets absolutely fucking starched, man. Starched. I just hate to see it, dude. I hate to see it. You know, you look at it, it's like, what is he going to do? Obviously, the chin's an issue. Obviously, he's struggling with identity inside the octagon. That couldn't be a worse thing. So it's like, you know, what do you do? Go back to fucking stripping? You know, that's not the plan. Because the male strippers just, you know, basically dance for other gay men. You know, I'm not saying he's gay. I'm just saying, like, male strippers, there can be a huge market in it. And he's a good-looking dude. You know, he's such a beast. Such a beast. You just want the best for him, man. That's all I want.
That's him right after the fight.
Guys, I'm okay. Just a little cut here. I sleep in the fight. So something happened wrong. Proper 12. With my coach, my manager. Now a lot of pizza. You know, Jay. Let's eat and be happy. And let's go to the next one. Vamos pra próxima, galera. Machuquei só pouquinho aqui.
What a good dude, though, man.
Lá, mas vida que segue. Tô bem.
You know, it's like, yeah.
Entertaining dude, for sure.
Yeah, he's entertaining. It's like, yeah, let's go to the next one. 4 out of 5. UFC really didn't play that game. And they have young bucks coming up through the Dana White Contender Series who they can pay less.
Yeah.
So I imagine they give him one more. You lose that one. You're talking 5 out of 6. We can't keep it.
Yeah.
It's like if you're a baseball player, you strike out a fucking 200 times. You just, all right, dude, we just can't keep it. No matter how much talent you have, they're not going to keep you. Another thing is if you're going to have chin issues, and I'm not even saying, I hate when people say that. I don't know if it's a chin issue. But if you are going to suffer from, you know, that wasn't the hardest shot, and you have an issue with chin issues, quote unquote, and you're at light heavyweight, it's tough, man. Now, it could just be Jamahal Hill hits like a fucking truck, a Mack truck, and he's that talented. I don't want this just to be about Johnny Walker, but I do find it depressing what's going on here. Because remember, Johnny Walker did go 5 rounds with Thiago Santos, who hits like a goddamn barbarian. He went 5 rounds. He was all right. So for Jamahal Hill, I'd love to see him fight Santos next. That'd be a fantastic fight. I love Jamahal Hill's timing. I do think he is a top 5 caliber type of fighter. I think what makes Jamahal Hill, do I think he's more skilled than Johnny Walker? Athletically, probably not. His fundamentals are better, but as far as like just that X factor, Johnny Walker has it. But what Jamahal Hill has that very few guys in the UFC have, that, and most of them that have this skill set are world champions, go on to defend the belt many, many, many times. Something DC has, John Jones has, TJ Dillashaw had, Jose Aldo has, Dominic Cruz has, Kamaru Usman has, Francis has. You look at, you know, Volkanovski has. You look at all these fucking monsters that run the UFC. Izzy has it, of course, but it's their mentality. So at a certain level, you know, especially at the highest level, what separates the GOATs from just the greats is that mentality, that, you know, it's cliche to say, but that Mamba mentality, that killer instinct, that true belief in yourself that never falters, especially in a day of social media where, you know, especially in the fight world, right, it can be a little toxic. So if you have a guy who's so mentally strong-minded that nothing wavers and they truly think that their destiny is to be the greatest fighter to ever fight, it's so powerful. But a lot of guys, you know, that can get shaken with, you know, a loss here, or maybe, you know, they have a signature move that usually works for them and it didn't work against this guy, and that stuff can falter. With Jamahal Hill, I see none of that. He's, you know, he has 1 loss in the UFC. You'd think that would falter or waver his confidence. You're just talking about a guy who has true belief in himself. True belief, you know? Obviously, he's not the biggest, strongest guy. He's not the most shredded guy. He doesn't look like fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, Johnny Walker. If you just went based off pictures, like, oh, this Johnny Walker guy's going to smoke this Jamahal Hill kid. Kid with the 2 thumbs up tattoos, which I love. The tattoos are sick. They're just thumbs up across his chest like this. It's one of my favorite tats. If you just looked at him on paper, Johnny Walker looks like a goddamn praying mantis on steroids, dude. He's jacked. He's 6'6". But one of them believes in themselves. One of them doesn't. And it showed very clear Saturday night. Jamahal Hill absolutely starched him. So Jamahal Hill, it's tough. I always like to give out MVPs of the card. There's really three of them. That main card, obviously Joaquin Buckley, we thought that fight was going to be fireworks. It went to decision. I thought Joaquin got it done. Abdul Alassane is a monster. That was a good fight. Good back and forth. I think that's good for the growth of Joaquin Buckley's career. Then obviously Jim Miller, dude. They're giving these young lions. They're giving this Brazilian cat from the Contender Series. Yeah, Jim Miller's age, I think he has the most fights in the UFC history.
Gotcha.
But it's between him, Cowboy, and Andrei Arlovski. Arlovski was the winner of the most fights, and then Jim Miller. So it's like whoever's going to stick around long enough. It's tough. But why it's more impressive, and all of it's impressive, but I'm saying why it's more impressive for Jim Miller is because he's doing that 155. If you go around the planet, there's more talent, there's more contenders, there's more people that can fight at 155 walking this planet that you can at heavyweight. So it's going to be way more competitive. That's why the division's so goddamn stacked in all organizations across the world, because 155 is more common than a heavyweight. To be a heavyweight, it's fucking impossible, right? There's like 20 of them walking the earth who can actually fight. So what Jim Miller is doing at 55 should not go unnoticed. He's our version of Tom Brady. He's the UFC's Tom Brady. And he's still performing at a very, very high level, and he's beating these young lions, and he's setting these records, and he's been in there with everybody, man. Every single buddy, he's been in there. And I like what they're doing with him, because clearly there's still something left in the tank. Now, is he going to beat, these other monsters at 55, the top 5? Probably not, but I like that the UFC has shown him respect and give him the guys that he's given him. He beat Eric Gonzalez with a KO punch last one. He just knocked out this Nicholas Mata, in the second round. So he's just doing the goddamn thing, man. You're talking about a Hall of Famer. Jim Miller's a Hall of Famer. Him and his brother, two of the nicest people on the fucking planet. If you remember his brother, fought Nate Marquardt. He used to fight 85, but just salt of the earth dudes. So Jim Miller, you'd have to give an MVP award to. And then with the heavyweights, with Parker Porter, Parker Porter, and this isn't any shade on him, it remains with Peter Porker from
Peter Parker?
Nope, Peter Porker, which is the pig on Spider-Verse. His name was Peter Porker. So I see Parker Porter in my weird brain that struggles sometime with words. When they call his name, I'm like, oh, that's the Spider Ham. His nickname should be the Spider Ham. Peter Porker, it should be, and his is what? Parker Porter. Parker the Spider Ham Porter. How lit is that name, dude? In the marketing, selling shirts and shit, but you make a real jacked, like big, thick boy Spider-Man that looks like it has a pig's head. You're welcome, Parker Porter. Parker the Spider Ham Porter. It's lit as fuck. Here's the scary thing about him. He's massive. His legs are fucking massive, right? Obviously, he has a little excessive weight on him, whatever. His pressure and his cardio was very impressive, man. And his fundamentals and his 1-2 and his wrestling, and he wouldn't get it. Now, he lost his first fight in the UFC, and I think he's won 3 in a row now. Dude, that's the Spider Ham, dude. That's the fucking Spider Ham. He lost to Chris Daukus, which is, nothing to hang your head about that, because that Chris Daukus is a fucking savage. But I was really impressed with him, man. Really impressed with him, especially for a heavyweight, with that cardio and those takedowns and his punching and absorbing shots, because that Bado, was lighting him up. But the Spider Ham went ham, dude. He went ham. Hopefully he likes that nickname. No shade, Parker Porter, Spider Ham. And then at the catchweight, Kyle Daukus, who obviously his brother is the heavyweight, against Jamie Pickett. Nothing more that I like to see than a Darce choke. That was your boy's shit when I was fighting. I love a Darce choke. He absolutely dominated Jamie Pickett. Absolutely throttled him. Didn't give him a second to breathe. And what was interesting is when he gets him that Darce choke, and I fancy myself a fellow Darce choke connoisseur, you can tell if it's locked in, and it didn't look that locked in. I thought Jamie Pickett was going to make it to the second round, and he ended up tapping. But it was weird because when he popped up, you can tell when a guy's been, having issue breathing. When the oxygen, the blood's being cut off to the brain, you can usually tell. And he kind of popped up, and he didn't come to like he went out. He tapped, so something was going on there. And then, because I was like, that's weird. Maybe something's going on. Something was going on. Jamie Picket came out on, I think, Facebook or wherever I saw, where he said, my tongue was between my teeth. And as he's chomping down, he goes, I literally thought my tongue was going to rip off. He's like, that's why I tapped. Live to fight another day. It's like, no shit, dude. Yeah, that's why, because it didn't look like a proper choke. It was tight, but I've definitely seen worse. I've seen guys get through it, especially with 3 seconds left. They can usually fight it off, or they go to sleep, fight it off. And holding it that long, if he's in tight, he would have went to sleep. But you see him tap, and then you see there's no issues mentally for him, because he pops up and he's like, God damn it. But he said, yeah, dude, the reason I tap is my tongue was caught between my teeth, so he's clenching down. My tongue was about to fucking rip off. Like, oh, no shit, yeah, I'll tap. Tongue? You miss your tongue, dude. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing here? Get your tongue ripped out? Insane.
Yeah.
So that's why I tap. So shout out to Jamie Pickett. But Kyle Daukus is a problem. He's good at everything. And obviously his older brother and him train together. So Philly's finest, man. Awkward call out at the end. Awkward call out. I don't think it's his thing. He's like, yeah, one thing to say. He's like, Tony Ferguson. I was like, Tony's way smaller than him. Where's he going with this? He goes, I think he says, you're known as the Darce King. I'm the Darce King now, or something like
Darce
that.
Knight.
Darce Knight. It was just like awkward. Like it was like,
Didn't seem like his personality.
No, I was like, oh no, somebody told you to do that and you had it preconceived in the back. Please don't do that again. Just be yourself, Kyle, and you're a great dude. He shout out at his mom, which I love, but that call, I thought he was calling a fight with Tony Ferguson. And then he was like, nah, I'm the Darce Knight.
The Darce King, the king of the Darce, so I'm the Darce Knight. Something like that.
It's weird to call it. It was like, wait, what? What's going to happen? He wants to fight Tony Ferguson in a Darce match? You're the Darce Knight, which I like Darce Knight, and I like the Spider Ham. I like both of those for you guys. You got my stamp of approval. So Kyle Daukus looked fantastic. The Spider Ham looked fantastic. Parker Porter, Jim Miller looked fantastic. Joaquin Buckley did what he needed to do in his career to advance. And then Jamahal Hill, it's off to the races. I'd love to see a Santos next for him. Because, right, they both beat Johnny Walker. He did it more impressively, way faster, didn't go decision. So it just makes sense. Jamahal Hill, Santos is a fucking main event on Fight Night all day, or it's a co-main event on a major pay-per-view, or it's a third fight on a major pay-per-view main card. So shout out to Jamahal Hill, man. He looks fantastic. Yeah, those were the fights for you guys. And, you got a Fight Night this weekend. You did have bare knuckle. Our boy Chad Mendes get the job done, which I don't think is any surprise there. Sucked to see my boy get who makes fire music get starched.
Yeah, and we learned his name is Famez from the broadcast. Remember, you thought it was Famez?
It's Famez?
Yeah, I thought it was Famez. You thought it was Famez. It's Famez.
Famez.
Yeah. And we do have some highlights from that fight, and it was brutal, dude.
Really?
Chad Mendes really took it to him.
Fucking tank.
Yeah, he looks crazy.
This is it here?
Yeah, there's some. I'll play this one first.
Now, can the fans see these two?
Since they're Twitter posts, I believe they can.
Cool. I'm sorry, I was reading the headline to the right. We rewind it.
Seconds remaining in this second round.
God. Dog. That's some Mike Tyson shit there.
Dude, Mendes has been
That's that Mike
crazy.
Tyson.
There's another one.
Another one? It went to decision?
No, 4 knockdowns.
Jesus,
So
yeah,
finally
stop
have to
the
stop it.
fucking
Fourth
fight.
Edge to Perry. Huge right hand. Fans in trouble.
Chad Mann's just a little ball of muscle, dude.
Yeah.
He's the Mike Tyson of the, like, has the short black shorts, the black. He looks like fucking Mike Tyson in there.
Look at his arm, dude.
He's a mini me Mike Tyson. He's Jack City.
So jacked
dude.
now.
Poor Famez, dude. What a terrible way to do this.
And then let's just play this last one. We kind of knew that was going to
You
happen.
just don't want
right?
that heat. Yeah, it's just a bad idea for our boy Famez. Also, Famez, I got to be honest, man. I wish you would quit bare knuckle fighting in this weird ring and fucking stick to music.
Yeah,
'cause your
you're
music's
great.
fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like your music can take you so much further than this. Yeah. And if you keep getting hit like this, it's going to affect your music, my man. No matter how many fucking auto tunes you use, if you got CTE, we can't help you in the music industry.
It'll be tough.
That was a tough one.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chad Mendes. Who the fuck's
beast?
I wish Chad Mendes and Mike Perry were the same size.
I bet they still fight each other too.
Oh, yeah. Dude, listen. There are no rules. If you're fighting bare knuckle, just whatevs. Whatevs, as the kids say. Whatevs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, 4 times to get the 4th round victory.
Famez, dude, you're so talented with music. Hopefully that takes off for you, man. We got to link you up with Little Brows, who's doing the Thick Boy album.
Yeah.
He works with Mike Stud, Jelly Roll, Paul Wall. It's like, dude, Famez, let's go, dude.
I showed Lil Brows all the stuff, and
What'd
he's
he
like,
say?
dude, I'm
He's
totally
good,
down
right?
with this. He's super good, yeah.
Did Brows reach out to him? His
maybe.
Famez management reached out to me, so maybe I'll just connect him to Brows.
For sure. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll get him out here and do something cool, man. Famez, I got you, Dad. Don't let this bare knuckle stuff get you down. Just bare knuckle, you know?
All right, so one of the things that Joaquin Buckley did was hire this dude. He's like, I'm sure you've seen him on Instagram or just everywhere on social media. Okay,
I've never seen him.
This guy, Dale Brown, he created the thing called Dust, and he does all those videos of like how to survive if you get a gun or knife or whatever. But then people are saying he's kind of BS and they don't like him, but he became a star anyways online.
Okay.
So Joaquin Buckley had him as his cornerman.
And he's like a social media sensation?
Yeah.
Man, that's something missing. But I've done everything I need to do to be in the best shape, in the best condition.
He's talking to a therapist right
I
now?
feel like there's something missing. What could it be?
Could the answer I be looking for be out here? Man, I got a good view of
Oh, I don't
Vegas.
like that angle.
How do I increase my survivability? Survivability. How you spell that? Assessment. That me? Yeah.
I'll fast forward.
Maybe something just coming to knock on my door.
So he ended up having him in his corner, and the reason he did it is because there's gonna, this guy's a viral star. So he's like, there's never been a fight where more people paid attention to his fight, even like celebrities paid attention to his fight because he had him in his corner.
Oh, wow.
So it was like a good marketing,
Smart marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that guy's a big deal. Go to his page. Oh, that's him there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does he know anything about fighting?
He thinks he does, but a lot of people think he's just BS. But I mean, whatever.
Go to his page for me. Let me look in this guy. I've never heard of him. So with Detroit, it's Detroit Dust.
Detroit Dust. Let me see.
Remember, Joaquin Buckley even Kanye retweeted his knockout and did a remix song to it, for God's sakes. How do you follow that up? You hire this Dust guy. Threat manager.
I don't know which one's his legit
Go to
account.
it's Detroit. That's the Detroit Dust one. See
Where am I
the
seeing that?
Detroit Dust?
No.
Go up. The second one. Second one,
Second
buddy. Yep. That's what was tagged on
Oh, okay. There you go. That's one. So 380,000 followers.
self-defense. Okay. Let me see one of his videos where he's showing self-defense. Oh, that's it right there?
Survival training. This is a combat knife. It can be used as an edged weapon or as a compliance tool. In this case, he grabs here. I don't want to use the blade. I pull here. Or we can use it here, and we can use the back of the blade here and actually create a lock. We can also use the top of the skull here to back him down, or we can use the chest plate here, back him away from you. That is several ways you can use it in a non-lethal way. In a case that there is an attacker that's part of a group or that's armed with a weapon, we go here, and
does he have
now
black
we are
gloves
able to
on?
use the weapon to defend our life and create safety for ourselves and our family. These are intelligent options that will increase your survivability.
If you're in a knife fight? Is there another one? I mean, that I could have done. I mean, he's just like, if you just either grab you, take the knife. And now you're assuming you have the knife in your hand while you're being attacked. You're just on surprise, right? So go to that one where that guy's behind him.
This guy?
Yeah. What's this?
Commander Brown, Detroit Urban Survival Training.
It's 4 minutes.
We're back with more ignorant comments that need to be addressed.
Just reading comments. You know what? I'm not hip to his stuff too, so maybe he's joking, but I don't know.
He's not joking. No, I know he's not joking.
Okay.
You can do hashtag self-defense for women, hashtag self-defense. Smarter, stronger equals safer. Hey, man, not knocking the hustle. Maybe it works. I'll tell you right, I don't know the fucking shit with these guns and stuff.
Currently at the business game, we're just attacked this right here. All right, so first one is shaking hands.
He's short.
What we want to do is we want to control this person. Say the name.
What, are you gonna shake hands?
Come here.
Why would you shake hands? No, that's not real. That's not. Well, that's not. Hey, well, you know that's not gonna work. So you're gonna shake my hand, then you're gonna twist my thumb to a rear naked choke? I mean, you're dealing with fucking dumb McGee there. Yeah, I mean, good for him, man. I'm not knocking the hustle. If it works, it works.
If it works, then great. It says it's for kids too, so that's great.
What else you got, Chin?
All right, so there are also Bellator fights over the weekend. You know, the smaller ones though, like Neiman Gracie. But okay, so this guy, Chance Recountre, he got kicked in the ribs by Andre Koreshkov.
Yeah, he's a
who's
monster.
a monster. Yeah,
Monster.
definite monster. So he suffered a punctured lung and 5 broken ribs.
And that's the kick there?
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. Jesus
Insane.
Christ. Dude, if you've ever fractured your ribs, it hurts so bad because they take forever to heal. B, even just breathing hurts. But they take forever to heal because there's not a lot of blood flow through the actual ribs, so they take forever to heal. This poor guy. Was he have a Mountain Dew there?
Looks like it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but that's insane.
That was a rough kick.
Francis Ngannou, I guess he posted something on his YouTube channel, siding with Jake Paul, obviously, right?
Of course.
And just saying this particular thing about the UFC.
Ngannou
Reiterated that Friday it's possible.
It's possible he's fought his final fight knockdown. He underscored the fact that he's reached a point in his career where he's willing to take a financial hit to improve conditions for fighters who can't make the same sacrifices. True.
He's talking about fighters here.
Yep. They have debt. They need to borrow money to subsidize their lives. So even though he knows that he's not getting paid enough, he can't pass up the opportunity because he has a machete on his throat. So he needs that. Machete is so aggressive, but all right. How's he going to fight against the system? He can't fight against the system. He's just going to take it. He or she's going to take it, Francis. Just going to sit on his pride and keep doing it, and the power will keep getting bigger in the other hand, and the fighter will keep getting small in the other hand. Yeah, I mean, as far as, France saying he's going to take a financial hit, thank God he's at a point where he's not going to take a financial hit. That's why he can speak like this. That's also why Jake Paul can speak the way he does freely, because it's not going to affect them financially. You wish more fighters would rally around this, but they can't because to Francis' extreme point of a machete on the throat, which is so aggressive, but I wouldn't say it's a machete. It's more of, the UFC doesn't have to do anything because there's enough elephants in the circus who are going to get paid peanuts and perform because they're just, a lot of them come from nothing and that's all they know and they don't want to, go against the grain, but you got a guy in Francis, a guy in Jake Paul who are outliers. So for Francis, I know he says he'll take a financial hit. He won't because that Tyson Fury fight is out there. Tyson wants that fight. He'll make more money off one boxing match than the UFC could pay him in fucking 3 years. So it's actually, in hindsight, it's actually the move for him. No matter if the UFC plays ball or not, Francis can be okay. But yeah, to his point, the rest of the fighters are kind of screwed, which is what it is.
Yeah. All right, this is Volkanovski talking about Max Holloway because they were originally supposed to fight, and then Max had an injury, had to pull out, and now Max is getting healthy again, so he's actually a backup on that same card with Korean Zombie and Volkanovski.
So he's like, hold up, you backed out, and now you're a replacement? So this is Volkanovski tweeting, @BlessedMMA, that's Max Holloway for you guys don't know, wants to be a backup fighter or a fight. He was really skilled to fight. So in other words, he was never injured, just hoping he doesn't have to fight me or fight me while I'm prepared for someone. But hey, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. No. It is a little weird to back out a fight and not the replacement.
Yeah.
But this is the shit I don't mess with. With Max Holloway, and you look at his reputation, you look at his just career in general, Max isn't afraid of anybody. So I don't think it's that. Maybe Max thought the injury was going to be more severe and he's actually bounced back for it. And then they announced the Korean Zombie fight and he's like, I can kind of fight now. And I bet his team told the UFC that, like, whoa, we don't want to confuse people. We're going through with Korean. If Volkanovski wins, you guys will reschedule that right away. So I'd be willing to bet Max went, actually, it's not as bad as I thought. I'm actually back to training. And they're like, all right, well, you'll be the replacement if something happens, but we can't keep going back and forth. For Volkanovski, this just builds the fight with them even more. So I get it, but to say Max is scared of anybody is just insane.
Yeah.
Look at the dude's track record.
Okay, so Usman versus.
Do me a favor, Ching. Go back. I saw something that was interesting.
Here?
Then scroll over to the right. It was another headline where they had the. No, you were where you were at with that. Then it says UFC veteran blast clown Jake Paul for fake fighter pay interest. What's that?
Let's see.
Who would?
Veteran.
Sam Alvey. Oh, the smiling guy. UFC veteran Sam Alvey isn't buying what Jake Paul is selling when it comes to controversial issues. Fighter pay. We know. Yep. Paul. Yep. In addition, Paul. Yeah. Okay. During a recent interview, Jake Paul is a clown. And he's not trying to help fighter pay. He's trying to help himself. Every fight sells when you either want to see somebody win or see somebody get knocked out. Jake Paul has figured out that everyone wants to see him get knocked out. So he wants to try and switch the narrative. And so he goes after the low-hanging fruit. That sounds great to everyone. Pay fighters more. If UFC, Dana White, any of those guys were to do what Jake Paul's asking, he wouldn't get us paid more. He would eliminate the roster of the UFC. We'd go from a roster of 800 down to 75. I mean, do I think Jake Paul's doing it because he actually thinks he can make a change? I don't know. Here's my question. Does it matter?
Because he's doing it.
He's doing it.
Yeah.
Sam Alvey's never done it. Sam Alvey's never had the success of Jake Paul to do it, to really make a change. So I don't care if it's low-hanging fruit. Clearly, it's the elephant in the room. And Jake Paul's just the guy who's untouchable, uncancelable as far as the fight culture goes. So he has this massive platform. So if he wants to run with the narrative because these other big name stars in the UFC can't because they'll be disciplined, more power to him. I mean, I don't know why if you're on the UFC roster, if you definitely don't want to go against Jake Paul because all he's really, again, whether it's to get more views or more haters, whatever, I don't give a shit. But he is bringing a high and has the platform bigger than anybody else in the UFC to actually make the UFC address it. Sam Alvey, it's like, I mean, even though maybe you think he's doing it for a different reason, who gives a shit what the reason is?
Yeah.
If it gets done and highlights fighter pay, also, you know, with Sam Alvey going, we'd go from a roster of 800 down to 75. That's not true. You ever seen how much money the UFC makes? And that's the problem. That's the problem is because Sam Alvey's so, and I think, is he retired or whatever? I think he's done. He's lost a bunch. But, you know, for him to go, we go from 875, so UFC keeps doing what they're doing. Dude, you're drinking the Kool-Aid. You're in this weird freaking cult, and you're drinking the Kool-Aid, man. You step out and you look, oh, man, we probably could be paid more. But he made the news.
All right, so real quick on Jake Paul as well. There's a thing that Eddie Hearn said. Kind of basically what you were saying, too.
Jake Paul is a disaster for the UFC. Eddie Hearn claims YouTuber turned boxer will anger Dana White because he has a bee in his bonnet and is on a mission to improve fighter pay. Yeah, again, whether it's, you know, an actual mission to improve fighter pay or if it's just a marketing ploy, we don't care. He has such a massive platform. He says anything, all these outlets pick it up. Mm-hmm. If another fighter says something, unless you're one of these champions, no one cares, dude. It's just a tune fighters been singing since as long as I can remember. But unless you're a big mover, nobody cares. Jake Paul's the biggest mover. Whether you like him or hate him, who cares, dude? So just don't do it. Just leave it. But isn't what we want. We want views. We want interest. We want drama. We want confrontation. We want hype. We want narrative. That's our job, isn't it? So I think they complement each other in that respect. He added, there will be more pressure on the organization as time goes by, especially with the voice and noise of someone like Jake Paul. Yep, me and Eddie Hearn. Jake Paul is a disaster for those guys. He is sincere, but I also think he's got a bee in his bonnet and he's having fun with it. I think he's on a mission, but I do think he feels the UFC fighters are underpaid. Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think he knows they're underpaid, but no one's been able to do anything. Again, with his platform to keep bringing this up, you know, and again, the UFC is so powerful. And it's really not on Jake Paul to do this, but the UFC is so powerful. Even at his scale, at Jake Paul's level, and he's bigger than anyone in the UFC, I still don't think it's enough to get it done. Mm-hmm. It's cool for us to talk about it. It makes headlines, but again, I don't know the business model of the UFC. I know they made the most money they've ever made last year, and people always ask me, "Oh, fighter paying this?" It's like, I don't know how they clean their house, man. I don't know. I know I clean this house. We do pretty good. We pay guys fairly, but I don't know what they do. And also, they don't have to do anything. Because when Dana says jump, every single fighter on that roster goes, how high? Everybody. Because the ones that actually can make a difference are getting paid, dude. They're making good money that you guys don't hear about. Those guys are getting paid, dude. And that's how you keep this circus going, is you pay the guys that can make a difference. They're fat and happy.
Yeah. Well, he was saying that just Dana making that video to reply to Jake Paul was like, that's not the move. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No,
You're making more
that's not your cup
bring
of
more
tea,
attention
yeah.
to it.
It's more, yeah. But I think Dana also said on Full Send, he's like, I'm done talking about this kid, man. No more. Of
course.
Because he knows, Yeah. It's also a war on social media. It's just not your thing. Now, if it's a war of contracts and matchmaking and promoting fights, then that's Dana's lane. But it's not. You're stepping this weird world where it's not, It's just not your thing.
All right. Well, we knew this was going to happen, but so Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards 2 is targeted for July, despite that Usman had like ligament
Jesus
surgery in his
Christ.
hand. Yeah, it looks pretty crazy.
Hopefully he's all right, man.
Yeah. So July. Not that far.
I'm on for it. I'm all for it.
And you mentioned Khamzat and Darren Till training. So this is more footage here. And he said he got his ass kicked, Darren Till. Don't want to play music, but there's...
Is that Khamzat against Till right there?
Yep. So getting an armbar there.
So, but I do think you gotta take your hat off to Darren Till, because he was like, all right, Khamzat's this absolute monster when it comes to grappling. That's something that clearly isn't Till's cup of tea. So for him to get out of his comfort zone, fly all the way down there, can't be cheap. It shows you how bad he wants it.
Yeah.
And despite whatever Till has to say about me, I root for that. I tell you guys this all the time. My life's too good to hate on a guy like Till. I don't have the energy to do it. I don't have the time. Life is too good, man. So I root for Till. I really hope he can live up to the potential that, we haven't had a face of England or European fighting since Michael Bisping, dude. And Darren Till has that. He has his gift of the gab. He has the skills. It's just, he's fallen on hard times. I really hope he figures it out, man. I really, really do.
Yeah, it's like more of the mental thing, I think. He's got to figure out.
Like when he loses, like when we left Brunson, my guys are like, yo, your DMs people are like, oh, dude, yeah, fire this meme. They're sending me memes. I'm like, that's not what I don't want to see this guy lose, dude. I want him to win, man.
Yeah.
I root for Darren Till, dude.
All right, well, good first move to go there with Khamzat.
Yeah, hats off to him, man, because that must be a nightmare for him.
I know.
And again, we've been on Khamzat's nuts for how long now? We talk about how they say how much of a badass he is in training. And for Till to go, I'll go down there. It's pretty gangster, dude.
Yeah.
Hats off to him. Respect.
Definitely. So Luke Rockhold has always been kind of in and out. We didn't really know his next move. So he's saying he's targeting a June return, and he wants to fight Paulo Costa.
What happened? But the Strickland fight's just over?
I think Strickland is... There's another thing where he's going to... They're thinking he's going to fight someone else. Was it Paulo Costa?
Strickland is?
Yeah. Oh, I think, yeah, Paulo Costa. But so this is just Luke Rockhold saying he wants a June return.
I would like to, well, I mean, for Strickland, obviously Paulo Costa because of the rankings, but I like the matchup of Luke Rockhold Strickland because they've trained together. And also, I saw Luke Rockhold go, through all the drug use and all that shit. That's why Strickland's so crazy. Like he was like, he's like, that's what makes him dangerous. Like he doesn't even know what he's doing. Like there's no reason behind it. He's just going because he's crazy. He's like, which makes him super dangerous. Basically saying ignorance is bliss. I'm not saying I agree with that. I think Strickland's a very smart fighter. That's what makes him special. I think he showed that with his jab the last fight. And I saw Rockhold say he just doesn't have a killer instinct. I disagree. I mean,
Probably that's the number one thing.
Yeah, I think if anyone has it, he's talking about he wants to kill again.
Yeah, he wants to actually
Chael
kill.
Sonnen claims the UFC is aiming to book Golden Goose Sean Strickland. Golden Goose. They're marking as Golden Goose. That's what Chael said. Golden Goose Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa. Number one contender fight with one condition.
There it is.
It's a crystal clear Sean Strickland is one win away from a title shot. Well, then let's go back to the rumor at hand, which is Paulo Costa. I love in a fight when we have a semifinal match. I agree. Nothing better. When we have a number one contenders match, extremely rare. More common is to have a big match. If this guy wins, in this case, Sean Strickland, he gets to fight for the belt, but that doesn't mean it's a number one contenders match because this guy, in this case, Paulo Costa wins. He does not. Yeah, but it's kind of like Paulo Costa's fought for the title. Paulo Costa is still a fucking dangerous dude. It'd be such a fun fight. And remember, after Sean Strickland's fight, that's what I said I want to see next.
Yeah, it sounds like an awesome fight.
Great fight.
Yep. All right. Another Chael
Vettori,
Sonnen.
Luke Rockhold would be fun too.
So Chael saw another rumor. He said he talked to Stipe's wife, and then Stipe is now at 249 pounds. He put on 20 pounds of muscle.
I dig it. I would now, is he putting on muscle because he's going to fight John Jones?
No idea.
Because we know John's super thicky right now. I mean, John's a thick boy. I should send him Garrett. Don't know if he's going to wear it, but John is a thick boy, dude. And I just, in my experience, I don't like it. I think when you go up to heavyweight, the thing that makes John special is his cardio, his creativity, his quickness, So when you put on weight, all that slows down, and then you're just like the rest of the heavyweights, So,
Have you been around Stipe?
yeah, when he first signed with the UFC, me and him were training partners for 2 years.
Oh snap!
Yeah,
So there's size difference when you knew, like when John was
me and
light heavy?
Stipe were the exact same size.
Oh wow,
240. We were both around 238, 240, same height. We're the exact. He has his head's 4 times as big as
he has a
mine.
big head.
That's why he can eat shots.
True.
No, Stipe's a great guy, workhorse. Me and him, dude. I wish I had the footage of me and him sparring because I was like just coming up. I think I just knocked out Crow Cop, so it was like that hype around me. Stipe was just coming in. He had the baseball background. He was coming to Denver because he was getting into the UFC and they wanted him to train with heavyweights. And then we had Shane Carwin, myself. So I think Shane flew him out to Denver to train with us. So he's with us for a few weeks. And when I talk about, dude, we were going for blood, man. Because it was like this 2 young lions trying to prove who's the best. And dude, we had some fucking wars. And obviously he goes on to be, greatest of all time, and I tell dick jokes, so that's cool. So this is Chael talking. I got an inside scoop. I guarantee you guys haven't heard this. You might remember Stipe after Francis said, I'm stopping everything. I'm putting on 20 pounds, right? 20 pounds of muscle is very different, Stipe. I just got the inside scoop. Inside scoop, you just called his wife, Joe. Just talked to Stipe's wife. Stipe is 249. You're welcome. Yeah, hopefully help Stipe, and this is just science. When you put on more muscle, your cardio goes down, no matter who you are. So one of the things that made Stipe special is his cardio. So if you put on 20 pounds of muscle, we got to worry how that's going to affect his cardio. He probably hits a little harder. He's probably a little slower. So we'll see. And also to put on real 20 pounds of muscle, very tough.
Yeah.
Especially at his age. Very, very tough.
All right. It's just a few fight announcements. Curtis Blaydes and Chris Daukus will be the headliner for UFC Columbus. Remember Alexander Rakic and Blachowicz was supposed to be the headliner, but then Blachowicz has an injury with his neck.
That's an interesting fight for Chris Daukus, man.
Yeah, right after Lewis too, right?
Yeah, Curtis Blaydes is a tough character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Daukus the one that fought.
Got knocked out.
And that, god damn, they throw him to the goddamn wolves.
He's up there though, right? So
yeah, dude, the UFC is so savage. Oh, you lost to Derek Lewis. Here's fucking Curtis Blaydes.
Yeah.
Curtis is such a night. Curtis is just a guy. He would be the heavyweight champ of the world if obviously he ran into Francis and Derek Lewis. It's just he has a skill set to be world champion. He just happens to be born at the same time these other guys in the division. It's a tough fight, man.
Yeah, definitely. This one I thought was really cool. Melvin Manhoef and Yoel Romero. Headliner for Bellator Paris. 2 old dudes, but like really explosive, fun fighters. You don't like it?
I don't know what to make of it. I mean, okay. You got Melvin, he got annihilated by our boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I'll watch it. It's interesting. It's such a weird fight. Weird fight.
It's what Bellator does sometimes. So,
yeah, for sure. It'll get views.
Yeah. And a quick one, another rematch, AJ McKee versus Patricio Pitbull 2s for April.
I mean, AJ McKee, most talented fighter in Bellator, by far. Superstar.
Do you think they'll ever allow him to come over?
Never. He'll be their Michael Chandler, and then in 8 years, finally, he'll want to test, and see where he's at with the UFC. That's how this goes.
Yeah. Alrighty. Aaron Pico versus Jeremy Kennedy. I had to look up this guy's record because I wasn't sure who he was, but not too bad.
Yeah, Pete. They're still bringing Pico up. They're still bringing him.
Yeah.
Along. Love Aaron Pico.
And then on that same card, Vadim Nemkov and Corey Anderson.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
the
great
Grand Prix
fight.
final.
Yeah, I love that.
And our boy, John Wayne Parr, his retirement fight at 1.
This is the last one?
Yeah.
1 championship. Shout out to 1 championship.
Edward
John Wayne Parr
Folion.
draws
Folion.
Folion for his retirement fight. Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
When is that? Saturday, March 26th.
It's just around the corner.
God, I hope
I know.
John Wayne Parr wins.
So that'll be his 100th win if he wins it.
Jesus
So that's why he
Christ.
wants to go on top, with
I
100
hope he
wins.
freaking wins, man.
Alrighty.
Yeah, John Wayne Parr is a legend, dude.
So this fight with Bobby Green is going to be at catchweight with Makhachev at 160.
Yeah.
And Chael Sonnen has some thoughts on that.
If it's 106 pounds, does that mean you actually weigh in at 161, or they made it 159? Like, the whole thing gets weird. I don't know where this allowance pound ever came from and why you can't have it in every fight except title fights. The whole thing is just goofy. But they're spotting him 5 pounds. Is there anything to see here? Is this something I'm missing? Is this relevant? Who asked for it? We'd have to believe Bobby did. We know Bobby can make weight because we saw him do it 13 days ago. That's the problem. He's got another 13 days, 14 to make the same weight that he just made, but I don't think Islam would ask for the weight allowance because of a change in opponent, because Islam was planning on doing it anyways. Yeah, I think it. There you go. Bisping explains why there's a good chance Bobby Green beats Makhachev. There you go. But there you go, Bisping. Great minds think alike, buddy. But for Bobby Green to cut, like, hit that weight cut is excruciating for a lot of guys.
Yeah.
So do it back to back. His team was probably like, dude, we'll take the fight, but you got to give some leeway here. Like, he'll take it, but we need 5 pounds because those last 5 pounds actually kill him. He can do it once every 4 months, but to do it back to back in 14 days is too much for the fighter. I'm sure the UFC is like, yeah, if that's all you want, let's do it. Yeah, it's a Bobby Green's team thing. It was like, dude, it kills him those last 5 pounds. He just did it. If you want him to take this on short notice, obviously give him some nice little cash here and then give him 5 pound allowance. That's how it goes. It's not goofy. It's the way you get the fight done, Chael.
When you were fighting, because I've seen this happen before where people say he just had a fight camp, so a close fight after, let's say he just fought today, and then he takes a fight 2 weeks later. A lot of people say, oh, that's actually good because it had this fight camp behind him. But when you fought, did you have, after a week or two, were you still in prime condition to fight?
No, not at all. Because usually the camps are so intense, the camps that beat you up. And then depending on how your fight goes, the fight can be tough, but nowhere near as your camp. So you need those breaks after, because if you're running a proper camp, 6 to 8 weeks, it's full. There's no way, like, by the time you're done with that camp, you can't wait to get to fight week just to rest. And then on top of that, these guys are cutting weight. So they really, that time off is vital for these guys, especially if they're cutting weight. Vital.
Yeah, let's see what happens with this fight.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm all for it.
All right, this is also, I guess, a rumor. UFC is working on Ortega versus Yair.
Ooh, some Mexican on Mexican crime. I'm with it. That's a great fight.
Speaking of Brian Ortega, he posted this recently.
On his lip.
He says he's in love.
And what's that say?
Oops.
Tracy, because that's
Love.
his girl's name.
Yeah.
God, that must have fucking hurt on your fucking lip.
Yeah, but that's love.
You just got to hold your lip there like that.
Yeah, I guess when you tattoo your lip, you got to hold your own lip, right?
Oh, yeah. Oof, I bet it fucking hurts, dude. But it should be pretty quick. That guy's taking forever to get that heart done, so let's just go ahead. That's dope, though. Good for him.
This one's not that big of a deal. Let's go. This I thought was interesting. So Deontay Wilder, we haven't heard from him in a little while. He's actually working on music now. And I'll show you what he did here.
He's playing the saxophone? That'd be sick. Just some old school jazz.
Play? That would be sick, yeah.
Yeah, man. He sings like R&B? What do you think, Chin? You know music.
All I need is one, yeah. Overdose on you. Girl, you know it's true, yeah. All I need is one, yeah. Overdose on you. Girl, you know I miss you, yeah. All I need is one, yeah. Overdose on you.
It's very. Have you heard the guy from 90 Day Fiance?
No.
There's a guy. I think
talks like that?
Nigerian. Yeah, it's very like island like.
Yeah, well,
that's what he likes to do with his off time.
Seems like a lot of people are getting into music now, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
And he also was on this show, and he's saying that he wants to take ayahuasca, and then after that, decide what he wants to do with his future. Because he's kind of like in limbo right now. He doesn't want to know what he wants to do.
Well, that's good for him, man.
Yeah.
If he's made enough money to do whatever the fuck he wants to do, which is great. Yeah, listen, so many, especially comics, so many people doing ayahuasca these days. I know so many people doing. They get great benefits from it. So if he wants to do it and then think on that, that's good. I heard you're forced to address some real demons. I've heard some stories about it. Like, oh my, I don't want that, man.
It's so crazy how that stuff works too. I don't want to see that stuff either. But I feel like addressing it is probably the best thing to do.
You'll face to face with your trauma.
It's too scary for me though. You might be a little jealous of this.
Oh,
Khabib
my boy, look how many rings he has on. Do you think Khabib realized how big of a deal that is?
That's what everyone's making fun of.
So I think on our Thick Boy group chat, someone screenshot that and sent to me. I go, holy shit, that's the pound for pound entertainment goat, Jared Leto, with a Dagestanian.
Yeah. But I guess Khabib also says that he didn't know who Drake was. So
you definitely know. If you don't know who Drake is, you definitely know. Like Jared Leto's, don't get me wrong, he's a big deal, but Drake. If you know who
There's
Drake is,
do you think he actually knows Jared Leto? Who's just talking to him?
Probably not, but I'm sure Jared Leto's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Great guy, Is that it?
That's it for current events.
All right, kids. Fun show. Another one in the books. We are dropping a flashback fight night with Matt Mitrione this Wednesday on Thick Boy. Again, I've hyped up the shows with Matt, man, and they're some of my favorite ones. I think you guys are going to dig this. We watched 3 fights in Matt's career. The first one is Matt versus myself, which was super awkward, but we got through it. And then we watch his Derek Lewis fight and his Fedor fight. So it's just interesting perspective. Matt's view on when we were fighting each other and my view, completely different. I love doing the show, man. So, the first one's up right now with Sugar Sean O'Malley. That's the flashback fight night on Thick Boy right now. That's on YouTube if you haven't seen it. And Wednesday it drops with Matt Mitrione. We got a food truck with Michael Chandler dropping. We have a food truck with Mitrione dropping. A flashback fight night with Chandler dropping. And then we have a very special squad showing up for the Calabasas Fight Companion March 5th for UFC 272. We have Josh Barnett and Mitrione and myself. So if for you guys are looking to check the box for fight heavy, there you go. Pipe down. So that's it, man. And you have a fight night this Saturday. Makhachev, Bobby Green, and I'm fascinated by it even more so now that Bobby Green is the curveball in this whole kind of fight world, man. So let's see. Makhachev has his hands full with this different problem to solve with Bobby Green. So I'm excited for that. You also have Bellator Mousasi versus Austin Vanderford, aka Mr. Paige Van Zant, but he becomes a world champion and now she's Mrs. Vanderford.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I'm rooting for Austin, although Gegard with that big dick energy is hard to beat. All right? You feel me? A few touring notes. This Wednesday, Schaub and Friends. It's Chris D'Elia, Brian Callen, Jeff Dye, Chappelle Lacey, myself. One night, one show only. This thing will sell out. It's at 8 p.m. at the Hollywood Improv in Los Angeles, California. This will be our 5th sellout in a row. So get your tickets as you're listening to this because I guarantee we're going to post it today. The bitch is going to sell out. And then also this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sacramento. It's the capital of California, baby. I'm going to go say what's up to Newsom. Sacramento, California is Punchline Comedy Club, and that's February 24th through 26th. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The show's almost sold out. I can't add shows for a variety of reasons. The late shows are sold out, so early show tickets are left. Get tickets right now at thickboy.com or fatkz.com. And then March 10th through the 12th, I'm in one of my favorite clubs in the world, Zany's in Nashville, Tennessee. March 10th through the 12th, we'll have a special guest there as well. And then just added to the dates is Chicago, Illinois, March 24th to 26th. So get your tickets at thickboy.com or fatkz.com. The Calabasas Fight Companion first merch drops this Tuesday. We have the Oops Grenade hoodies, tees, and hats dropping Tuesday. So I'll blast it all over my social media, and you guys will see it. But any Thick Boy merch, we have the Thick Boy Car Club stuff, and then also the Calabasas Fight Companion Oops Grenade shirts drop this Tuesday at thickboy.com. So that's it, kids. Love you. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, tell your friends. Be safe out there. I'll see you next time.